This is your notes for isosceles and equilateral triangles. You'll be able to use special relationships found in isosceles and equilateral triangles to find sides and angle measurements. Let's take a look at a few notes. Remind you what an isosceles triangle is. A triangle with at least one pair of congruent sides. So they've got them marked on here with these little congruent marks on the sides. What are the legs? The legs are the congruent sides. So the legs in this picture are side AB and AC. As you can see, they're marked. The base angles, the congruent angles in this picture of an isosceles triangle opposite the legs. So the legs are these sides. So if you go opposite, it's not these angles on the sides of the legs, but you're actually going across from it. Here's this leg side, and there is the angle opposite, and that's one of the bases. And this leg opposite it is the other base angle. You'll be tested on these terms in a little bit. The base itself is defined as the non-congruent side, the one that's not equal to each other. So we can see the base in this picture is the side BC. And then the last term is called the vertex angle. We had the base angles that were congruent. We'll see a little more about those. Now the vertex angle is the one that's not equal. And the angle is formed by the legs of the isosceles triangle. Now this says opposite the base. That's correct. Let's take a look. Here's our base down here. So the angle opposite is up here. Angle A. So there's a few terms, pieces, parts of an isosceles triangle. A couple little theorems before we go on to the quick check. It says if two sides of a triangle are congruent, then the angles opposite them are congruent. So in this picture you've got these two sides are marked congruent. So we go and mark the angles opposite. Opposite this side is over here B. That's one of the base angles. It'll be congruent to the one opposite this leg, which is angle C. So whenever you have the sides marked, you can also mark the angles. Go opposite the sides and mark the angles that are congruent, your base angles. Conversely, if you're given two angles that are congruent, like in this picture, angle B and C, then the sides opposite them are congruent. So opposite angle B over here is this side AC. If you got the angles marked, you can mark the sides opposite it. Opposite that one. Opposite angle C over here is side AB. Those will be congruent. Now let's check and see if you understand. You're going to go to this URL below and do the little practice problems on the Google form. Start by filling out your last name, first name, and go on. Take a look at those questions. Good luck.